President Tinubu directs accelerated rollout of free health care for low-income retirees and implementation of pension increase. JAMB sets up panel to review admission of 599 high-scoring underage UTME candidates. NCDC confirms 3 more deaths from Lassa fever as fatalities rise to 155 nationwide. Hello and welcome to News Desk at 6 on NTN's 24 live from Abuja. I am Mina Daniels. President Bola Tinubu has directed the expedited rollout of the Free Healthcare Access Initiative for low-income retirees under the Contributory Pension Scheme, describing it as a critical component of social protection and dignity in retirement. The President, in a statement by his Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, equally called for prompt implementation of the long overdue pension increases and a minimum pension guarantee, which will provide a safety net for the most vulnerable pensioners under the Contributory Pension Scheme. The President gave the directives after receiving a brief from Ms. Omolola Oloorora, the Director General of the National Pensions Commission, PENCOM. President Tinubu further mandated the PENCOM DG to urgently resolve the long-standing police pension issue. Stakeholders in Nigeria's automotive industry have reiterated that the recently introduced guidelines and national occupational standards for compressed natural gas retrofitting are critical for national safety, efficiency, and regulatory compliance in vehicle conversions. They made these remarks on Good Morning Nigeria while discussing the topic CNG retrofitting guidelines in Nigeria. Oluseyi Adeabo reports.
Vehicle imports continue to drain Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves, while local auto manufacturing struggles to gain traction. In response, the federal government is targeting the automotive sector as part of its push to promote the use of compressed natural gas (CNG) across the country. To support this transition, the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC) launched official guidelines for retrofitting vehicles to run on CNG. Discussing the guidelines on Good Morning Nigeria, the Director General of NADDC underscored the benefits of the new CNG retrofitting guidelines.
About 89 standards were issued in last year for that guide the operation of CNG in Nigeria, and those standards are already there. So the standard specify the kind of kit, specify the processes, and everything that you need to do to guarantee safety.
Best Nomdim, president of the Automotive Sector Skills Council, also noted the progress being made in adopting CNG and emphasized ongoing efforts to tackle the technical and logistical challenges involved.
The need for technicians that will be able to handle this, and after the whole installation, carry out post-installation check to ensure that there is no leakage, and all those guidelines, as the DG stipulated, are followed to the...
Your vehicle doesn't require the frequent change of things like filters and stuff. So, you know, your vehicle is much healthier, your engine is much healthier, and it will thank you for switching to CNG.
Viewer responses via social media showed stronger support for the initiative, with citizens urging the government to regulate and certify service outlets. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adeabo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the surge in CNG conversions is colliding with an acute scarcity of CNG filling stations, further compounded by sharp practices that leaves many drivers stranded. Lydia Sampson reports on how CNG users now spend endless hours allegedly sleeping in CNG queues.
The introduction of compressed natural gas for many motorists who embrace CNG conversion is about chasing a cleaner, cheaper path. Yet, a challenge looms. Scarce filling stations like distant stars barely lighten the night for thousands. Over 100,000 vehicles now vie for inadequate stations. Sylvester Aboasi's frustration is not limited to him alone.
They give preferential treatment to people that are willing to give them tips. So this is what we are facing, and that's why you too as a person cannot just go in and easily buy.
His experience resonates with many other CNG users.
We are sleeping here 2 days, 2 days sometimes. 1 day sometimes, sometimes hours.
The availability of it is that for one, the station I believe is not enough. The people who have converted are higher than the demand now is higher than the supply that it has already.
I had converted my car to compressed natural gas, and initially, like about a year ago, it was exciting to have cleaner and cheaper alternative. But right now, the major challenge is that many motorists have converted, but capacity of filling station is a major challenge. You can't believe that we're told that the whole of this place that looked like a park is actually motorists who had converted their cars waiting for CNG, and they could wait for hours. Some even spend the night. As a CNG user who for months avoided the visible queues due to my schedule, I can genuinely identify with these experiences. A member of a WhatsApp platform of over 1,000 CNG users, Sylvester Abua believes constant supply and an enabling environment for more private sector investment could help ease the pressure.
They should also make the environment a soft landing for people that are ready to invest and have more of mega stations that will service the need at the moment. The demand outweighs the supply. So we need the government to help us to give an enabling environment for investors who are willing to invest.
For now, the government's vision sings loud: 150 stations by year's end and 1 million converted rides by 2027, fueled by billions invested and a growing network of conversion centers.
In other CNG, infrastructure, we are looking at expanding in, putting up refill stations, daughter stations, mother stations, and whatnot, because this is what will fuel the entire CNG adoption within the length and breadth of the country.
Safety is number one. We have to be very careful about that, and we need to make sure what we are bringing out, we are getting the result back at the end of the day.
Yet, the private sector's cautious steps reflects the lofty tone of billion-naira ventures needed to build new stations, a costly symphony requiring both courage and capital.
Investment will lag supply, demand, if the environment is in a growth phase. But as that happens, because investment continues to come in, then supply will increase, and then demand and supply will balance out, right? And also price will then come down. So we are saying that is a classic economics, and I think what I tell my folks is that let's be patient.
It is obvious that together, government's resolve and private ambition must meet in partnership to expand filling points far and near, turning sparse oases into a lush landscape where CNG flows freely in a new era of sustainable motion. Only then will the rhythm of this green revolution truly resonate, quenching the thirst of every converted car on the Nigerian road. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, has inaugurated a 23-member committee to determine the admission eligibility of 599 outstanding underage candidates who scored 320 and above in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTME, out of over 11,000 candidates in that category. JAMB Registrar Professor Isiaq Olode emphasizes that scoring 320 is not an automatic ticket to university admission. He notes that each of the affected candidates must also attain at least 80% in both their school-based assessments and post-UTME examinations to be considered.
for a normal one, but there will be 1 in a million. That we cannot allow that to just be subsumed. The panel of experts that will consider them will sit in Abuja, Lagos, and Owerri.
He further advised parents against cutting corners to secure admission for their underage children, warning that maturity and readiness remain key factors in tertiary education success.
Crime, bribing people, trying to influence the admission and so on. You are introducing them into the world of crime to allow these students to emerge normally, naturally. And we are assuring you that there will be fair play, everything will be transparent.
The registrar also adds that only those who meet all requirements at each stage of the rigorous screening process will be recommended for admission. The final list of successful candidates is expected to be released in September. Representatives from various ministries have gathered for a crucial interministerial committee meeting to prepare for the pivotal United Nations Climate Change Conference COP30. With the urgency of climate change action, this meeting is a key step in shaping the nation's framework conversations on tackling climate change. Shehu Mohammed Dati reports.
The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is an international treaty aimed at addressing climate change and its impacts through the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. Nigeria's concerns necessitated an interministerial committee meeting to focus on addressing the country's climate change commitments and challenges.
The success of our participation at COP30 rests on our ability to speak with one voice, unified and coordinated. It requires us to bring our diverse expertise and resources to the table. We will review our progress, identify our strengths, and address our gaps to ensure we are all fully prepared to the task ahead.
This year, COP30, we are ready. My mantra, as I've told my staff, is we must be known as an efficient, high-performing, and the legacy we leave behind must be the right one to take us to where we want to go to.
Nigeria's carbon footprint is a growing concern, considering the country's goal to achieve net zero emissions by 2060.
Globally, looking within, looking inward, it's time for all of us to come together and to be able to get the momentum that we need for Nigeria.
The preparatory meeting is convened to address Nigeria's readiness for the conference, laying the groundwork to ensure that Nigeria's voice is not only heard but also impactful on the global stage. In Abuja, Shehu Mohammed Dati, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We have more reports after this break.
Precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
The Baffy Furniture Shopping Festival is here. From June 15th to August 15th, enjoy 20%, 30%, up to 50% off on most products. Explore 2025 exclusive collections at discounted prices, plus wedding packages with a free TV stand gift. Plus, free delivery and installation in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. Customize your favorite sets in your preferred color and fabric, from kid-friendly options to our luxurious smart beds. Don't miss out. Shop now at Baffy Furniture.
Welcome back. The House of Representatives has asked the Federal Character Commission to lead by example in enforcing constitutional provisions requiring equitable distribution of all cadres of posts in the public service of the Federation. Chairman House Committee on Federal Character, Idris Wase, stated this while frowning at perceived disparity in the distribution of directors of the Commission at its headquarters and across the 6 geopolitical zones. The House Committee invited the management of the Commission for an interactive session to clear the air over observed contravention of the federal character principles in some agencies of government.
So some have retired. No, but some, are you obeying for the character?
I'm aware that just a couple of months ago, few retired, and I'm also aware that next month, which is month of September, by the middle of September, 1 or 2 will retire. So, yes, we know we have to do this equitable distribution. Equitable distribution is also different from equal distribution, because we have to make that clear also. It doesn't mean that...
I disagree with you. Northwest had what number? Directors. Northwest, he told me 4. North Central, no, more than 4. Thank you. North Central 1.
Southwest 0.
Southwest 0. Why should it be so?
Northeast 1.
Why should it be so? Whether in their promotion or whatever, the Constitution is very, very clear as to what they are supposed to do. And so you are the first line as far as I'm concerned.
The Federal Character Commission acknowledged funding constraints in carrying out its constitutional responsibilities of monitoring equitable distribution of positions across more than 700 ministries, departments, and agencies of government, as well as maintaining its various offices in states of the Federation. And in a bid to ensure equal access to federal government opportunities for young Nigerians, the Federal Character Commission and the Ministry of Youth Development have initiated a strategic partnership to address the issue directly. At the heart of the discussion is the urgent need to ensure that youths from all parts of the country are fairly represented in recruitment, leadership, and national development programs. This formed the basis of a high-level meeting between the acting chairman, Federal Character Commission, Kayode Oladele, and the Minister of Youth Development, Ayodele Oyawande, at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The FCC boss emphasized that the growing youth population must not be left behind, as their role in nation building cannot be overemphasized.
That fails to harness the potential of its youth does so at its own peril. It is our firm commitment to work with your office to ensure that the benefits of these programs, whether student loans, university admission, skills training, or empowerment, reach every part of Nigeria fairly and equitably.
Now, I believe that with what you are doing, with what we've read about you, there is a lot of collaborations that can come in between us.
The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has confirmed 3 additional deaths from Lassa fever, bringing the total number of fatalities in 2025 to 155. According to the agency's latest situation report covering week 29, that is 14th to 20th of July 2025, a total of 822 confirmed cases have been reported so far this year, spanning 105 local government areas across 21 states. The current case fatality rate stands at 18.9%, marking a noticeable increase from the 17.1% reported during the same period in 2024. The NCDC highlights that 89% of all confirmed cases originated from just 5 states, Ondo, Bauchi, Edo, Taraba, and Ebonyi, underscoring the persistent regional concentration of the disease. The number of newly confirmed cases remained unchanged from the previous week, with all new infections recorded in Ondo and Edo states. Notably, no new cases were reported among healthcare workers during the period in review. The report also pointed to a year-on-year decline in both suspected and confirmed cases when compared to 2024. In response to the outbreak, the NCDC reassures the public that the National Lassa Fever Technical Working Group, a collaborative multi-sectoral response team, continues to lead nationwide containment efforts. The agency urges Nigerians to maintain proper hygiene, avoid contact with rodents, and seek prompt medical attention if symptoms occur. Amid ongoing disease outbreaks across Nigeria, civil society organizations focused on child health care, calling for sustainable financing for immunization. While commending President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for its commitment to revitalizing public health, the groups are urging the prompt release of the delayed 2024 budgetary allocation for immunization. The CSOs warn that continued delays pose serious risks of vaccine shortages and threaten the lives of millions, particularly vulnerable children across the country.
It has increased the provision, but it's not enough to increase budgetary provision if you don't make prompt release.
Without consistent vaccine financing, over 1 million Nigerian children under 5 remain at risk of dying from diseases that could have been prevented by vaccines. I want to beg the Federal Ministry of Finance. We understand very clearly the constraints of the physical space. But we are saying that if the Federal Minister of Finance has to make a choice, he should please choose immunization.
Led by the Vaccine Network for Disease Control, the health advocates emphasize that Nigeria accounts for over 30% of the world's zero-dose children, those who have not received a single routine vaccine. They highlighted immunization as one of the most cost-effective public health interventions, capable of preventing deadly diseases and reducing the country's troubling rates of maternal and child mortality.
Because a $1 investment in immunization gives a $44 rate of return.
This is the news desk at 6 on NTNS 24. Here now is a recap of our top stories. President Tinubu directs accelerated rollout of free healthcare for low-income retirees and implementation of pension increase. JAMB sets up panel to review admission of 555 high-scoring underage UTME candidates. NCDC confirms 3 more deaths from Lassa fever as fatalities rise to 155 nationwide.
This is NTA News 24.
The Lokoja-Abuja Highway has remained a nightmare amidst efforts by the federal government to complete the dual carriageway, which started in 2006. Solomon Ayede, who was at the Katam-Karofo end of the highway, reports that a failing bridge on the highway poses a threat to road users plying the route.
Lokoja Highway is significant to the socio-economic development of the nation. Apart from serving as a link between the northern and southern parts of the country, it also promotes trade and commerce, as well as connecting of Nigerians. Despite its significance, the state of the highway calls for concern. Most importantly now is a failed bridge at Koton-Karfe along Abuja-Lokoja dual carriageway, following a fuel tanker accident on the bridge, hitting up the structure and causing it to fail as explained by the authority. The continued pressure by heavy-duty vehicles in the aftermath of the accident has weakened its expansion joints, causing dangerous potholes on the bridge.
In the meantime, traffic on the bridge has been diverted for the safety of the road users.
The road is not good at all. Look at the road, everywhere is spoiled.
If they repair this road, the benefit will affect the poor masses. So please, they should do the right thing.
The Federal Ministry of Works resident engineer in Kogi State explains that efforts on its repair has reached advanced stage.
The level of damage caused by the fire accident have been assessed by Bridge Design Department in our headquarters. The design has been concluded and approved. Very soon, repair work on the bridge will commence.
Nigerians are hopeful that the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration will see to the completion of Abuja-Lokoja Highway to ease traffic on the route. In Kotonkarfe, Kogi State, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
And that concludes the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Many thanks for your company. I am Mina Daniels.